Narcissistic relationships make you more vulnerable for an avoidant in your next relationship. There is a consistent pattern. People go through a very painful narcissistic relationship with a true narcissist that treats them horribly, devalues them, and then discards them. And then the very next relationship is with an avoidant that also discards them as well. And the avoidant discard is often even more painful because you had come through the narcissistic relationship. You thought that you had figured it out, and you finally felt seen because the avoidant did not give off narcissistic vibes. But you were blindsided and devastated because you had thought you had really truly met your twin flame this time. Coming out of a narcissistic relationship, it is like you're coming out of the love desert. When the narcissist is devaluing you, nothing you do is good enough. You try so hard to please this person. You try harder and harder, and you give more and more and more of yourself, and it's never enough. You're just being treated horribly, and maybe once in a while being thrown some breadcrumbs. You are being deprived of love. You're probably even often receiving the silent treatment, the withholding of intimacy. You are being constantly punished by the narcissist. You haven't been shown any love or affection in ages. Well, it's like crawling through that desert. And then you come to that first oasis, and that avoidant is showing you love and affection. They are love bombing you as well, but they're not doing it in the same way that a narcissist would. So you think you found a genuine person. It's like the first cool drink of water after crawling through the desert. The problem is that you are so love deprived and in so need of validation within yourself. You're not even noticing that that first cool drink of water is dirty water, because the avoidant is somebody who is emotionally unavailable. And not in all cases, some of them can be very deceptive, but many of them are actually popping off red flags pretty early on. Things like hyper-independence, hot and cold communication, talking about the wall or the emotional guard that they have up, that it takes some time to let the guard down, or their past is filled with short-term relationships. Lots of potential little red flags that you might be pushing to the side because you so badly want this person to be it, because you just came from narcissistic hell. But you are actually more vulnerable and you don't even realize it. You may have even thought that you have healed from that narcissistic abuse. And to some degree, you probably have. But you've been deprived of love. You've been deprived of validation. And every human being wants to be loved and validated. And you have been so deprived of it that when someone comes along who is pretty strong in the beginning, as most avoidants are, it can be so alluring and so captivating. But that just sets up the avoidant discard to be that much more painful, because after being discarded by the narcissist, you thought that this would never happen to you again. And not only does it happen again, but it happens by somebody that gives you a connection and a chemistry that is off the charts, somebody that you thought you really had a true future with. It is absolutely devastating. So if you're coming out of a narcissistic relationship, be very careful and mindful for red flags, not just narcissistic red flags, but look out for red flags to see if this person that you're dating is potentially emotionally unavailable. Because the discard is devastating, especially after you've also been discarded by a narcissist. You are setting yourself up for so much heartbreak if you are not holding boundaries and looking out for red flags. And understand that you are in a more vulnerable state coming out of a narcissistic relationship. Be kind to yourself. And the way to be kind to yourself is be alert. Look out for those red flags. Pay attention. When somebody shows you that they're emotionally unavailable, believe them. Just because you want them to be the one doesn't mean that they are. Don't set yourself up to be hurt. Take care of yourself.